Shalom. Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and the Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rekah HaKwadash. And double honors to the apostles of the great millstone that told me what I know today, as well as giving you, brothers, your deserved salutations for forwarding this ministry worldwide. And shalom to the Yakim, Wagwafiam on the side of support. Most importantly, take heed. And this your brother Laban coming at you with another video. And I just want to clear a couple of things because, 2 days ago, we was out live at the camp. We came across the scripture, and I didn't really like how I basically gave the interpretation of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this again, and we're going to begin by reading verse 4, just getting right into the point. And this is the book of Daniel, chapter 12 and verse 4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. And many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. So the word run to and fro, the Hebrew word for that is shawatazah. And the strong definitions, not the strong definition, but the biblical usages says it means, what is it? It means basically what it means. But there's a word where it says to eagerly run. Okay, and that's what I want to build off on right there. Because when we heard the word of the Lord, whether we saw the brothers posted up on the streets or whether we saw the elder apostles, teaching online, we was compelled to be a part of this ministry. So we ran to it. We were compelled in this case. Okay, in the time where knowledge shall be increased, which we're in that time right now, especially during the time when the apostles, which the apostles have been teaching ever since, the 80s to the 90s. But this truth kind of reemerged in 2007 because they were on YouTube at the time. So from that time to now, which we're talking, 16 years in the making, it's been that time that knowledge has been increased. Because nowadays, especially into the 21st century, man, this has always been newly came information that's just come out of nowhere, at a consistent basis. That's the only word I can really think about right now. New information is coming real fast. It's not like how it used to be in the 20th century where new information came and it was just like slow. There's new information coming up like every time, especially in this century, the 21st century at that. So in the same time, we would hear the truth and we would run to it. It's kind of like when Yahushua told Peter, in this case, because Peter and them was fishing. So Yahushua told them what he told them, and they let go of everything, including their fishing, because to be a fish at the time, it was lucrative, man, and it's still lucrative even right now. You can still make a lot of money being a fisherman right now. So how much more back then? So they put all of that aside and they ran towards Yahushua. So it was the same thing with us. Once again, we ran to the truth when we heard it, because that voice was calling us in our head. And what that voice said in our mind is what it said in our minds, But I remember when I first came into the truth and heard it, and there was a voice that came to my mind and told me, this is the truth. So now let's read Isaiah 30 and verse 21. And thine ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, this is the way, walk ye in it. And when ye turn to the right hand, and when ye turn to the left. And when I first heard this truth for the very first time, just a couple of months in, I would say, there was this voice, man, that I could remember. And it told me that this was the truth. And I even repeated it out loud. So there you go. So when we heard this truth, we were compelled and we ran to it. And now we're part of it now. So now let's also go and read the book of, Habakkuk chapter 2. And we'll begin by reading verse 1. So this reads, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and I will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I'm reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that read of it, right? For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So I read over it. Salakia for that. In verse 2, I want to build on the point on the word run, right? Which the word there would be rawatazah, which means to, hold on, let me go into it, because I actually forgot what the biblical usages are. I know the Hebrew word. The Hebrew word is rawatazah, which means to run, runner, to run swiftly, dart, to bring or move quickly, hurry, to drive away from the course, to run away. And then we have the strong definition, which there's a point that I want to make on this as well. So the word is raratazah, which is a primitive root to run for whatever reason, especially to rush, break down, divide speedily, footman, guard, bring hastily, make, run, away, through, and post. So we look at, let's go back up here, because it tells you how many times the word, this is it right here. So the KJV translates Strong's H7323 in the following manner: run 72 times, guard 14 times, post 8 times, run away 2 times, speedily 1 time. So we know that, obviously, generally the word is to run, right? But to put this in context, if you read it carefully again in the book of chapter 2 and verse 2 of Habakkuk, when you read it, let's read it again. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that read of it. In the strong definition, I read a word where it says post. So it would make sense for the word post to be there, because we're the ones that's reading it, right? That he may post that read of it. So let's just interchange. Let's just use that term instead, that read of it, because who's reading it? We're the ones that's reading the vision. So the ones that's reading the vision proclaim the vision. So what happens is that the men that read the vision, they have to be posted up to like I've said, proclaim the vision. All right. And that's why Yahweh Shai told the disciples what he told them. He said, go ye out in the highways and the hedges to compel them and bid them to the marriage. And what are we to give warning of, as well as they were to give warning of, that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And in that we tell them that America is going to be destroyed. We tell them that Jacob's trouble has come, and many much more things that lead up to the kingdom. Okay, so that's something that I found out, and I just want to bring that out there, to you brothers as well as you sisters, but primarily you brothers, because y'all are the ones that are teaching this. Okay, so when we heard this truth, like I said, we ran eagerly because we were compelled. We heard the voice. Some of us heard the voice that this was the way. So we ran to it and we were compelled. And now we've been posted up to what? Bring and announce the message. Now, a post. Now, let's just say you're on a highway. You're going to see these different signs on the highway. You're either going to see a caution sign, or you're gonna have a sign, especially if you're in the States, that's going to warn you of an intersection. Okay, because I know the highways in the States are big. So you have all of these post signs that are telling you what to look forward to, right? So we have also become likened onto that. We've become like the signs posted, especially towards the public. So the word here is post. And we're going to go down to the last half. And we're going to read this right here. So we're going to read the similar, what is it? The similar meaning, which is post, put notice on, or in we have posted all of the bars. Publish a piece of writing, image, or other items of content online, typically on a blog or on social media. So that's all I'm going to read right there. Just getting right to the point. Display a notice in a public place. So we're displayed in the public place, aren't we? Just like the Lord said, go ye in the highways. So in every highway, especially as it is right now, if you're in America or if you're in the UK, you're going to see what? Signs. So we're on the highway and we're what? Announcing to you the visions that are written, which are the signs. Okay? That's the best way I could really put that. And what is the vision? First and foremost, we're going to get to that, but I want to finish this off, and then we'll get to that. Let me go back. Verse 3. So this reads, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry." Verse 4. "Behold his," that's going into something else. So yeah, that's pretty much all I need to read right there, just to bring home the point that we're publicly announcing, we're gathered together as postmen, announcing the vision. All right. Which is what? For an appointed time. So now the same word, rewatasa, is in a different scripture, or a different book, which is in the book of Jeremiah 51 and 31. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to see, because I have it already on here as opposed to. I think I might have deleted it, but I can type it back in anyway. Jeremiah 51 and 31. Jeremiah 51 and 31. And this reads, "One post shall run to meet another, and one messenger to meet another, to show the king of Babylon that his city is taken at one end." And we know that a metal or a wooden post does not run. So what is this talking about? It's talking about the men with the message, which would run to meet each other. Okay, and that's what we've become. We've become the post men, meeting one another, and then proclaiming the words of the Lord towards the public, and as well as towards the elite of this world as well. So that's our job. All right. You got brothers that have a 10-man camp, a 20-man, 30-man camp, or camps that are maybe one-man camp. But we're all set up and posted in our position, which the term position is just a long way of saying post. So we're in place to give the word. And what is the word? The word is, like I've mentioned, the kingdom of heaven is at hand, as well as Yahushua told the disciples, go ye not into the cities of the Samaritans, and enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, and teach them that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And that's exactly what we're doing, but we're doing it in a way of letting it be known that there's going to be destruction coming, and as well as there's going to be different various calamities that we bring out to you out in the book. And that's what we post to the public. Once again, just be in Babylon, and the glory of kingdoms and the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, and it shall never be inhabited, and shall be dwelt in from generation to generation, and neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, and neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. So America is going to get the Sodom and Gomorrah treatment. Why? Because they've been pushing that Sodom and Gomorrah knowledge to the public. Now, I want to show you, brothers, something. Down here in the UK, where the American embassy is at, they've put the flag, the pride flag, next to the American flag. And basically, what I'm going to say is this, man, is that this proves that this place is getting ready to be destroyed, man. Okay? It gives assurance that this place is going to be destroyed, receiving the Sodom and Gomorrah treatment. Point blank in the story, and as well as down here in the UK too, because back during the time, maybe a couple of years ago, which really as of recently, what they've done is they've taken down the British flag, the Union Jack flag, which we know what the term Union Jack stands for, as you should know, which means the Union of Jacob, which is funny how that is even the case, because the union of Jacob is actually happening right now. The real Israelites, the real Jacobites in this case, is us, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, okay, which our people used to call themselves the Jacobites back during the time of the Dark Ages, or almost at the end of the Dark Ages, I would say. Okay, so anyway, yeah, like I was saying, they had the Union Jack flags posted up on Regent Street down in West London, and now they've interchanged it with this flag over here. Once again, even the UK is marked for destruction, just like as well as America is, which is proving that we have a sure word of prophecy, and that we're actually going to see what we've always been reading all along, that these lands among the west where Esau dwells at, these places are going to be desolated, or desolated, excuse me. So now let's continue to read on in verse 21. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures like your hyenas and your jackals. But I really don't think there's going to be hyenas there, man. That's just my personal thing. But it remains to be seen. And the owl shall dwell there, and satire shall dance there. And the wild beasts of the island shall cry in the desolate houses. And dragons, as it is written in Isaiah 34, right? And dragons in their pleasant palaces, and her time is near to come, and the days shall not be prolonged. So when it says dragons, it's really referring to serpent-like creatures, basically. So once again, getting back to the point of the matter is that that's the vision which is plain upon tables, and that is the vision that we are posted up to proclaim. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to get the book of Jeremiah 51 and 31. Once again, right? And we're going to read this again. One post shall run to meet another, and one messenger to meet another, to show the king of Babylon that his city is taken at one end. And that's what we're doing. We've come together to show what? These elites. Because not only are we publicly announcing the end to the average person, but as well as your elites as well. And I just wanted to read this again to make that point, because I don't think I made that point, that we're also prophets towards the powers that be, as it is also written in the book of Wisdom of Solomon 5, that the righteous have stand bold against those which have afflicted them, that made no account of his labors. All right, so that's where we come in. And the passages are stopped, and the reeds have burned with fire, and the men of war frightened. Which the word reeds is referring to a big pool of water. Jeremiah 51 verse 33. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, the power of Israel, the daughter of Babylon is like a threshing floor, and it is time to thresh her, and yet a little while, and the time of her harvest shall come. And Nebuchadrezzar, the king of Babylon, have devoured me, and he have crushed me, and he have made me an empty vessel, and he have swallowed me up like a dragon, and he have filled his belly with my delicates, and he has cast me out. Jeremiah 51 verse 35. The violence done to me and to my flesh be upon Babylon. Shall the inhabitants of Zion say, and my blood be upon the inhabitants of Chaldee, shall Jerusalem say. And therefore thus saith the Lord, behold, I will plead thy cause and take vengeance for thee, and I will dry up her seas and make her springs dry. And Babylon shall become heaps, a dwelling place for dragons, and an astonishment and a hissing without inhabitant, as I just read to you in Isaiah 13 and Isaiah 34. So what Jeremiah is prophesying about, and yes, indeed, what happened to ancient Babylon, they did get destroyed eventually when the Persians and the Medes came through. But for the most part, Jeremiah is really prophesying about another Babylon which would come after, which is the same one that John the Revelator spoke about. Okay, because when the Persians and the Medes took over, they took over 3 parts. Now, when you read the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter, it mentions that in the mouth of the bear, which the bear is referring to the Medes, that the 3 ribs symbolize the 3 areas that they would take over. And those 3 areas was 1 Babylon, 1 Lydia, and 1 Egypt. Okay, so they were dwelling there. So you still have people that were dwelling in which was called Babylon. But in this case, the Babylon that we're in right now, that we're being influenced by, will no longer be no more. And as well as the land will not be inhabited anymore. Okay, so this is what's coming up, slowly but surely.